Welcome to the demonstration of TriggerBridge, connect, translate, and control. So we're going to start from the very beginning here. Right now, you're just seeing the logo, but I'm going to turn on TriggerBridge. Actually, I'm going to I'll turn on TriggerBridge first, and we are going to activate that window. So here is TriggerBridge. This is setting it up from the get-go. So the first thing we're going to do is, if you see here it says password rejected, this is a brand new profile. No profiles have been loaded. You can save profiles. It's different profiles for different things. Like if you're just doing recordings, straight recording, then that would be one profile you could set up for toggling mics and toggling, starting, stopping, recording. And if you wanted to do streaming, you could set up another one for doing streaming, start, stop stream, or toggling streaming. You can set up another profile if you have multiple scenes you want to switch between in one, or if you have one scene or if you have one stream set up profile that's just one camera or one scene, you wouldn't need that. But if you had another one that you had set up with different orientation, maybe portrait instead of landscape or landscape instead of portrait, then you could switch scenes here. You could do have a pair of scenes you can go back and forth between, or if you have a source you want to disable or hide, then you could also use that. So you can set up profiles for anything, and TriggerBridge will save those profiles for you, and when you log in, it'll have your last used profile will be loaded here. So we have none right now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect to OBS Studio, which you should be able to see now at the bottom of the screen. Well, you can't, but I'll show it to you in a minute. So OBS Studio is the platform that I'm using now. In the future, we're going to have Streamlab Desktop and vMix, but right now we're just using OBS. Now, in the OBS setups, you would need to go to OBS Tools WebSockets, which is right over here in the top corner. You can see that. Now you would find your port number, and you can use, I'll show you in a second, you can use 127.0.0.1, which is the IP, internal loopback IP, or you can use the machine name. Should do the same thing. In OBS Studio, in WebSocket, you can enable authentication or disable it. You can do it without a password or whatever you'd like. But back over here in TriggerBridge, we will add the password because I'm using password authentication on it. There we go. We are connected. So that'll be saved when we save our profile. It'll actually save this whether you have a profile saved or not. If you have a connection, it'll remember the connection. Now we go to our MIDI device. So I will show you in a second. But right now we have Studio 24C MIDI in, which is an audio or an analog digital converter that I use for this microphone that I'm using right now. But we're not going to use that as our input device. We're going to use the TD27. Now you can have multiple, and they'll all be listed here. As soon as TriggerBridge launches, it'll scan the system for MIDI devices, and it'll list them all right here. This is your live monitor. Right now it's not doing anything because we haven't set up any captures or identified which MIDI note or event we're looking for. So now, since I'm using the Studio 24C to run my microphone through, it should show up in this list. This is your platform microphone. That's what's going to be displayed in here. So I'm going to select the microphone. And now when we get down to these items, this is the learning section. I'm going to show you what I'm using for my trigger right here real quick. And there it is. Wait, let me get this out of the way. So this is a drum pedal attached to basically a Gibraltar pad that has a Roland piezo trigger in it. So when I want TriggerBridge to learn something, I just go to in here in TriggerBridge, I scroll down. I've got my TD27 selected. And now in this, I want to say, let's say I want to toggle recording, right? So if I toggle recording, I'm going to use a double tap for that. Currently, TriggerBridge can use single taps, double taps, or triple taps. This trigger I'm using doesn't allow for a long hold, so I can't. We're going to implement that, but it's not implemented yet because I can't test it. But you can think of a single tap as a keyboard tap or whatever MIDI transmitting device you're using. You can generate a single. Basically, it's a one-time event, single event, pluck, tap, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to do double tap for the toggle recording. I come over here to the right side. There's a learn button. I will say learn, and there you go. It had just picked up the double tap on note 27, E flat 1. So there we go. We have that. Now, if I want to mute the microphone, I'm going to do toggle mic up here, select single tap, and I'm going to do learn. And now you see the message, toggle mute has been learned. So now we still have, now we're going to show you the OBS control panel. I'm only displaying the control panel here, not the whole thing, because it will have the mirrored effect that goes on forever and ever. And I'm going to show you how this works. So if I want to mute the mic, I'm going to tap my trigger that just got learned, my action that got learned by TriggerBridge. I'm going to tap it once, and that's going to mute the mic. Now, once it's muted, you won't hear me, but you'll see on the bottom, the OBS Studio control panel, where that green meter is going. You're going to see it going, but it'll be gray because it'll be muted. So you'll know that I'm talking, but you won't be able to hear me. So here we go. Let's mute the mic. And now we're unmuted. So you saw me talking, no BS, but that's that. Now, before I stop the recording, which is a double tap, I needed to show you the save profile action. So you scroll back to the top, and now you're going to see some MIDI events that have been happening in here, right, that it's picked up on. Those are our trigger events that we taught it in the learn section, the action section. Up at the top, we've got a status bar that shows us everything that's going on. We've got a quick one at a glance. You've got the platform as OBS. You've got the MIDI is connected. The audio is ready, and we are currently recording. So now I'm going to save this as demo. Come on, demo. Really? Demo. Profile. Then we use save current as profile. The profile is saved as demo profile. And now that's the profile we're using. When you have more profiles saved, they'll be available in this list. When you select one out of this list, it doesn't automatically load. So you need to select the profile you want to use. So you have one for recording and one for streaming and one for streaming multi-scene. Then you would pick whichever one that is that you want to use at that moment and hit load profile. All your settings will be brought back up. It'll have everything you've learned for that profile will be picked here and selected. It'll be ready to go. Every time you launch TriggerBridge, the last used profile will be loaded. The platforms you're connected to or have been using, the most recent, will be loaded, and whatever MIDI device you have previously selected for that profile, or even no profile, will be loaded here. So now that we've seen all that, let's go and show you guys how to stop the recording. Now, I'll have to say goodbye because it will be gone. Uh-oh, we lost it. There we go. It's going to disappear, but just so you can see it, thanks for watching TriggerBridge. Hope this helps you out as much as it's helped me out and keeps me focused on what I'm doing instead of having to mess with the mouse and the keyboard and the start and the stop and all that kind of stuff. So enjoy. I hope you beta testers have a good time with it. Let me know what you think about it. Give me some feedback. Send that to feedback@triggerbridge.app, and we'll try to get some enhancements going and some things ready for the actual launch of version 1. Here goes the stop recording. Peace out.